Again, here we are. Welcome, everybody. I think this is our first journal party happy hour. So, happy hour to you. I've got myself a little margarita here, courtesy of Girl Alex. If you're not familiar, I'm Alex, but I also have a life partner named Girl Alex. Well, her name's Alex, but I call her Girl Alex for confusion, obvious reasons. Anyway, a little bit of a marg as we finish our workday here. I've been going nuts on my end here, creating all sorts of programs to try to get people into journaling. I've decided that it's my mission to get at least 1 million people to start journaling. And I think that that's totally possible, especially with all the really cool new stuff that I've built to help people get into journaling. So actually, one of those things I'm going to throw up on the screen right now with my handy dandy QR code shower thing. You know what? It doesn't appear to be showing the actual QR code. That's weird. Maybe it's a little glitch with our streaming software. There it is. All right, I see it now. All right, so go ahead and scan that if you don't have the Journal Party app. It's awesome. Basically, it's a guided journaling app where we've got all sorts of guided journaling prompt programs. And so whatever you're working on in your life, whatever you're going through, you can open that up, and kind of like the Calm app for meditation and guided meditation, you can do it for guided journaling. You just open up your journal and work on whatever it is that you want to work on. We've got timers, guides you through the whole process, and it's pretty cool. And, anything that's really heavy, I get input and feedback and help in developing these programs from actual mental health professionals. I'm very big on mental health. I'm very big on being an advocate for therapy, but also I really don't want to lead anyone astray. So know that you're in good hands, and everything has been put together by people who know better. But anyway, go ahead and scan that if you haven't already, and get the app. Join us. It's a party. It's awesome. So what I wanted to do today was just, first off, just commune. I mean, we're a growing community here. So this is live streaming on several platforms at this point. So if you say hi in the chat or something like that, you may not be visible to other people in other arenas or other channels, and I'll have to figure that out. I have to figure out how to consolidate everything. But that's part of the fun of this thing, is that you guys can be a part of this and grow while we do. I wonder if you hear what's going on right now. I live in most of the time beautiful Los Angeles, and there are sirens going on. I live very close to downtown, and so there are a lot of sirens. I hope everyone's okay. All right, so a little bit of background about what I've been working on. As you know, we've got an app. You can scan it, get it. But I've been building all sorts of these really great programs with inside of the app, and also outside of the app. If you haven't seen it yet, one of the latest things, I just published this little tiny book here. It's 365 journal prompts, and I actually like to tuck it into the back of my journal here, because even as someone who's been a lifelong journaler like myself, there are times when I'm journaling where I freeze and I don't know what to write about, but I know that I want to keep writing, and that I still have more in me to work out. And so what's really cool is you can just open this up and flip through some of the prompts, and pick one at random, or do one a day, whatever it is that you want to do. But it's a really cool little thing to have in the back of your book here, and I never run out of things to write about. So check that out. It's currently available on Amazon. Just search Alex Gallner Journal Party or 365 Journal Prompts. It should come up. I hope it comes up. If not, you can check out journalparty.com, and hopefully I'll have links up there. That would be the smart thing to do. So anyway, that's one of the things that I've been working on. And today I've actually been working on a new program called Journaling for Beginners. I know that's not like the most exciting title or whatever, but I feel like I mostly just need to title it that so that Google knows what it's about and rewards it for being relevant. I know that's like really nerdy and not fun. I was going to call it maybe like Journaling Jumpstart, or, kickstart your journal, or jump into journaling. I don't know. Maybe I will. But right now, unfortunately, I mean, I guess like just about everybody, we are at the mercy of these algorithms, right? So I need to broadcast and demonstrate that this is, solving a specific problem. It's highly relevant for a specific search query. Again, lots of annoying stuff, but the gist of it is I'm putting together a really cool offering for people who want to get into journaling. I think I maybe take it for granted sometimes that it's just something that has become a part of my routine. And it wasn't always like that. I mean, I think it took a while for me to really develop consistency. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that people have when it comes to journaling, right? Is that either you don't know what to write about, or you're not consistent enough. So how do you build these habits? How do you make this something that fits into your routine and something that works for you? And we're all busy. But I think that one of the things that I've learned as I've gotten older is that you really have to become aware of the things that are important and that move the needle for you, and things that really affect your life in a positive way. And you have to actually make time for them. If you leave your calendar open, people will jump all over it. Like, especially if you got the goods, right? Like, the second I got any good at marketing, like, everyone, hey, can I borrow your time? And I'm happy to do it. But I think for my own well-being, it's important that I safeguard my calendar and that I'm making the time to do the things that I need to do, right? I mean, as much as I have a mission to even help millions of people journal, right? I think it's still important that I make time for the things that I know help me to show up and serve those people that I am intending to serve. So, if I'm doing things like skipping journaling, if I'm skipping meditation, that's not good. You just eventually you burn out, and you can probably see it in my eyes. At the ripe age of 37, and up here too, right? I am no stranger to burnout, but I've also learned a lot about what the ins and outs of that are just by having gone through it. And personally, I'm done with it, and that's why I started Journal Party. I want to give attention to the things that I think are a little bit more important. And in this case, I think it's really important that we all get in touch with our who we are, how we want to show up in the world, and also just raising our level of consciousness and awareness, because it carries over into everything that you do, and so you can be much more effective. So that's the soapbox portion. That's the TED Talk portion of today's happy hour. But what I really, I've been working on this one program. What I meant to say, I've been working on this Journaling for Beginners program for a lot of the day, and actually, the past couple of weeks been putting it together, but it's starting to gel and starting to come together. And so what I'd actually like to do is maybe just work through some of these prompts. And I don't know, drunk journaling, not that I'm drunk, but drinking and journaling isn't always the greatest thing. It can be kind of fun, but you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt a little bit, because I don't know, it's one, this drink, it kind of mutes your consciousness, and that's not really what journaling is all about, in my opinion. So while it can be fun, it can be fun to do a drunk brain dump. For deeper sessions, I don't recommend that you do that under the influence of anything. But what I thought would be fun is maybe if we, while I just go through these prompts, you can kind of get a little bit of a sneak preview of one of the parts of this little program. If you're interested, you can hit me up, and we'll get it over to you. But let me just show you what I'm talking about. Sounds like, all right, I'm getting a little notice here that I'm getting streaming connection issues. So my apologies if I'm going in and out here. Let me put this up here. So here's a little sneak preview of what I've got in this program here. All right, and get this prompt thing out of the way. Groovy. And let's see what happens when we start. Okay, So pretty cool. As you can see, this is actually like a preview of what goes on inside of the app. So you can have this on your mobile device, or you can do it on your desktop, your laptop, your iPad, whatever you want. And what it'll do is it'll prompt you. So you can, for this, for this particular program, there's actually a lot of prompts. There's 31 prompts in this particular series, and I've given 5 minutes for each of these prompts. Not all of the prompts inside of the Journal Party app are 5 minutes long. Some are shorter, some are longer, and it depends on the depth of the prompt and what the intention is behind it. But since we're not going to be writing through this, I'm probably going to just, for funsies, short form answer these, and as I kind of look through and double check my work. And this isn't published to the main public yet, so you guys are getting the skinny on what's going on here. And I'm probably just going to riff on these because I don't feel like writing right now, and that's totally okay. I already did my journal, so we're good. All right, so what am I looking forward to today? Well, that's a tough one because it's already the day's mostly over, right? But there's still things to look forward to. And I'm looking forward to dinner because all I had for lunch was a couple chicken wings that I made really quickly because I was really just down in my work. And so I'm looking forward to slowing down, hanging out with my girlfriend, hanging out with my dog. I'm gonna make some. I got a piece of salmon in the fridge. I'm gonna grill that up and have a nice healthy dinner and relax. I'm not a huge TV person, but I think that on days like today where I'm just going nuts, a million miles an hour trying to make things, I really look forward to winding down, having a nice cocktail, and being with my girlfriend and my dog. So that's pretty much it. If this was a journal, it would take me a lot longer to say that, and I might pontificate a little bit more on it. But let's move on. This is we're live streaming, right? All right, so the second prompt here. If you were moving across the country and could only take a limited number of objects, what would you choose no matter what, and why? We're moving across the country, which I may do. We're actually getting ready to do a little bit of a road trip to see if we want to live anywhere else other than LA. So we are planning on a road trip, although probably not all the way across the country. But either way, if I can only take a limited number of objects, wow. Well, definitely my laptop, definitely my journal. I wouldn't count my dog's coming. He's not an object. My girlfriend either. Let's see, maybe a guitar because I love to play music and it's really great to be able to sing out and express myself. My phone. I need my phone. And that's kind of like a cheater one because when you have your phone, you kind of have everything nowadays. What else? Well, clothes. But in the spirit of the question, right? You could take a limited amount of clothes. So what would I bring? A good pair of jeans, probably. Really good pair of jeans. Good pair of sneakers, but also maybe some Clarks or something like that. So if I wanted to go somewhere nice that wouldn't allow me in sneakers, I could go in there. What else? Trying to think of my everyday carry stuff, but I wouldn't need it if I was going across the country, right? Because it's not every day. Sunglasses. I wouldn't bring sunscreen. I wouldn't count that as a big one, even though you need sunscreen. I'd bring money so I could go buy sunscreen at the CVS. Yeah. I guess I'm happy with that. I mean, let me know if you're looking at this and you got comments. But I don't know that I need much else, right? If I've got my phone, my computer, so I can make stuff, my dog, my girlfriend, the journal, a guitar. It's like an emo song. All right, well, that's what we're bringing. Let me know in the comments if you would bring something else or if I'm missing anything. All right, next prompt. Imagine yourself as a bird or animal. What have you chosen? What do you think it would feel like to be this animal? Okay. You know, it's so easy for me to like write these prompts and then like I actually do them, and I guess that's good, right? They're making me think a little bit. I could be a bird or an animal. See, it's an interesting one because a bird is an animal. I might have to rework that prompt. But now I'm like inclined to pick a bird. Like a penguin maybe? Because they always seem like they're having like a really good time. You ever been to like an aquarium or zoo where, you know, they got the penguin section with like the glass and you can kind of see them and they're fast and they just zip down in there and flop up and they're all buoyant. I think it would just feel like blissful to be a penguin. Although I've also seen, you know, nowadays they're coming out with these like nature docs that are really not forgiving, and you've got these penguins that are like being devoured by these seals. That's no good. I mean, it's fun in games until you brutality and reality that is nature. And again, sorry if we're cutting out here. I got another mess here that's saying like I guess my internet connection is not super great. That's weird. We pay for the good one. Anyway. All right. Yeah. So I imagined a penguin. All right. Now we already went through that, but let's do another one because that was sort of like knee-jerk reaction. I feel like I've always had sort of an affinity towards tigers. And maybe that's because I think, you know, when I was a kid, my dad and I were, instead of like instead of Boy Scouts, we were in Indian Guides. And I know that's not super PC anymore, although whatever, look into that whole thing. But anyway, my dad's like Indian name was Tiger Eye, and I used to collect rocks and gemstones, and I always thought the Tiger Eye was cool. And I was born in the year of the tiger in the Chinese zodiac, so that's maybe what I would choose because I've always sort of had that. And I also feel like the tiger is just this like beautiful animal that's just not to be messed with, right? Like it's got command, but also it's got, you know, grace in its form, and it's respected and powerful and strong. And like I think that there's like associations with this animal, like from a mythological sort of perspective, that there's like wisdom involved. I could be mixing that up with dragons, but either way, I think that the tiger is pretty cool to be revered and respected. Although, what would it feel like to be this animal? Like in reality, it's probably like, I'm hungry. Like that's probably all they think about. I'm hungry or I'm tired. And so it's like probably just like this never ending thing of like naps, food, killing, and then napping. I think I'm pretty sure those animals have to sleep a lot because when you eat a lot of red meat and you have to digest it, and I could be mixing up my zoology here, so if any animal experts want to come in and correct me, but I'm pretty sure they have to spend a lot of time sleeping. And wow, we're almost through like the whole 5 minutes. I won't do this to you guys, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that the tiger for those reasons, and let's move on. All right, what's your earliest memory? Write about it in as much detail as possible. Okay, so this one's kind of weird for me because I don't know if like I imagined this or like put this together because of like information that I was getting as a kid, but this is really weird. I don't even know if I want to share this because you guys are gonna think I'm a nut. I'm a nut. So, all right, I'm sharing it. I kind of have this weird memory of like before I was born. I know that's crazy, but like I remember looking I mean, what felt like looking out of my mom's belly button. I know that's not a thing. I know that's not a real thing, but like I remember like looking at my parents' bathtub in the condo that they had before I was born, and I've never even been there, but like I actually was able to kind of describe it to them, and like they were like, yeah, that's really weird, but I, who knows? Like I'm not gonna. I don't know. As much as like I think that's real, like I'm also a total skeptic with anything like that. So maybe I just heard that, or maybe I heard something that made me form that like weird conception of or concept of a memory. Gosh, my earliest memory. Oh my gosh! Even just think of this. I just like unlocked something. Like I remember being like a baby, and my one of my I think my mom left, or like my parents left, and just like you know screaming and pounding on the front door like they were never coming back, and just feeling like abandoned, and that was awful. Wow, I should talk to my therapist about that. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's like kind of a normal thing. Like it's a big, it's when you're so helpless, right? Like that is that's a really scary thing. And gosh, I think if I can move along towards like stuff that's like a little less like, did that happen? Do I remember that or whatever? One thing that I actually do remember pretty clearly when I was like really really little is playing Nintendo with my dad and my older brother, and they had the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original NES, and playing specifically Punch Out and playing The Legend of Zelda, and for hours and hours. And like I don't know that I was actually in control of the controls, but like I sat there, with my brother and my dad playing those games for just hours, and I mean to this day I still am really good at Punch Out and Legend of Zelda. So like maybe it's all the playthroughs, because those are great games. You should all play them. Anyway, let's move on. All right. What is your body trying to tell you that you haven't been listening to? How would you like to reply? Okay. My body has been telling me that, dude, you are tired. You can probably see it in my eyes. I've been working so hard on trying to release all of these programs and to get this journaling. And first off, I've been waking up after having had like weird dreams. So, probably working out stuff that I couldn't work out during the day. But then beyond that, like, I normally wake up really strong, but I would say that there's like this like undercurrent of fatigue, and I could probably use like a week of just not doing this. But I'm doing it for the love, and I'm inspired, So at the same time, I despise hustle culture and this whole idea that you need to lose sleep to, be valuable and bring something into the world. It's just crazy. And I'm in my 30s now, right? So like I really should be listening to that. So maybe I'll get to bed early tonight. But yeah, that's how I would like to reply. It's like, I know I'm tired, and it's worth it. It's worth leaving it all out there because I keep creating really cool stuff. However, I also understand that I can't sustain this sort of thing. And so I know. Cool it, body. I'm going to rest, and we're going to keep pumping out really great stuff for the Journal Party fam. How it is. Next prompt. All right. Write about a time that you helped someone. How do you think this act made them feel? How did you feel performing it? Okay, I guess I'm just going to think of something that's like sort of recent. So some of you may or may not know, if you know me personally or you know my history. Before I founded Journal Party, I was a growth marketer. Still am, right? It's not something you lose. But what that entailed was a lot of, doing a lot of digital marketing, email marketing, advertising, building funnels, and search engine optimization, all this stuff. And I've been going at it for a long time, right? So my friends know that they can kind of tap me for advice on all this stuff, and I feel bad when they do because I can't stop talking about it. Like, it's one of those things, like, when your brain just has like a bunch of knowledge on a certain topic, I don't know, I geek out on it and I get really excited to share it. And so recently I had a really good friend of mine sort of tap me for some knowledge, as far as what they might be able to do, for what it is that they're working on. And actually, I love that because, first off, like I said, I can't stop talking about it because it's fun. It's fun when you have like your own little corner of the world and you get to share it with somebody, and especially when it's somebody that you love and respect, and especially when it's like not because you're getting paid. Like, yeah, I liked getting paid a lot of money to do marketing stuff. Like, not going to complain about it, but I don't know. There's something that's super fun about being able to like really help somebody with their personal mission, right? Like, it's one thing to try to hit targets for shareholders or whatever it is that you're trying to do, but when your friend who you know and love is like, hey, I'm trying to accomplish this, I'm trying to get this out into the world, and I know you have some secret sauce for that, so like, how can what can you tell me? Can I take some of your time? And first off, like, they're always so like, oh, like, I don't know, they're always like hesitant or reluctant to borrow that time, and I can't resist. I just love it. So I hope that made them feel appreciated and valued, and I hope it made them feel like an insider or special, right? Because this, man, if I could tally up the number of courses that I've had to go through, if I could um, tally up like just the moments of heartache and all that stuff that I've had to go through to like earn any of the knowledge and skills that I have in that space, it's a lot. It's a lot, and so it's kind of cool to be able to shortcut that. So I hope that they felt like they were getting value, and that it was worthwhile, and I hope they were glad that they asked me for help. And personally, I felt great. I think I already sort of hinted at this, but especially as someone who's sort of like shifted careers, like now that I'm not just staring at Facebook ads and stuff all day. I mean, there's a lot of that, I'm not gonna lie, that goes along with starting your own business, something like Journal Party. But it really does feel good after having switched into something that's mostly a lot different, to not have all that accumulated knowledge or all those skills like just kind of like get thrown out, right? Like, they're still useful, and so it's kind of nice, like, even though it's not my main thing, like, now I can still make use of that. It's still valuable, and it made me feel really great. I feel like the growth of my loved ones is my growth, and I'm really happy to cheer them on from the sidelines. And I really hope they take all the little marketing nuggets that I gave them and they run with it. So, got 20 seconds left on this one. We're gonna keep moving. All right. Who are the 3 most influential people in your life, and how have they impacted you? Wow. Whew. It's a tough one because I don't want to offend anybody if they're not included in the top 3. This is why I normally keep my journals private, by the way, right? You don't want to offend anybody. But whatever, we're having a good time here. And you know what? If you're one of the 3 most influential people, wait. What I was going to say is, like, if you're one of the 3 most influential people, you better be watching this, right? Otherwise, you're off the list. And if you're watching this and you're saying like, hey, how come I'm not one of those 3? Then odds are one of the 3 didn't watch it, and we can like talk about swapping you out. So anyway, let's start with my older brother. So if you've ever met him, or I mean, I say stuff like that because I assume I have a lot of friends on Journal Party watching this type of stuff, but like I forget this is for the masses. It's my older brother. He's about 9.5 years older than I am. He's technically my half brother, but we're brothers, right? And big shoes to fill because when I was 8 years old, he got into Harvard and left for Harvard for where he went to Harvard for 3 years, graduated early, and like then had this like amazing career before like I was even, you know, even close to the workforce. And recently I actually, we were in completely different arenas. He was in investment banking and I was always an entrepreneur and marketer and musician, actor, everything, right? Like just totally different. But recently, his company became a client of my marketing agency when I was in that. And then when the pandemic hit, I actually jumped in full time. And that was my life before this, working very closely with my brother, building this startup. It's called Abound. You guys can see it. Go to helloabound.com. Really proud of what we did there. And while I'm not there anymore, because I'm doing this type of stuff, I'm really proud of what we built together. And it's interesting to like idolize someone your whole life because obviously I had really big shoes to fill. He was doing, he went to Harvard, he was doing really, really well. But we're also very, very different people. But then it's like this whole other thing to be able to like engage with that person on the regular and more as like a peer. Because when I was 8, he's 18, like he was more like an uncle to me and disciplinarian, if anything. And now, we got to work really, really closely and got really, really close. It's just I see a whole different side of all of that, and I get a better understanding of who he is, and actually, I think I even get, I think he's even more influential because of that, because I can relate to him on a different level. And now he's doing really big things over with Humane. You might want to look that company up. I mean, we're doing cool stuff here, like not even close to the type of stuff this company's doing. So check it out, Google it. That'll be another adventure. But yeah, shout out to my big brother, Bill. You're awesome, and I love you. I would also include my dad on that list. Unfortunately, I lost my dad in 2015, and he was also someone that I was working with really closely, and that's why I would say he was super influential for me. Is like, I graduated college in 2008, not the greatest job market. Spoiler alert, right? We all went through it, or unless you're really young, I don't know. But yeah, tough time to enter the job market, and he was the one who encouraged me to be an entrepreneur and really helped me, get off to a really great start. And I sometimes I talk and I hear him in me, and it's bizarre. And I would definitely say like I'm like a different version of him in a weird way. I definitely have my own things going on, but super influential, and I miss him every day. So that's my dad, and then the third one has got to be my mom, just because like she's like the other side of my personality and humor, and we have to do a. All right. Girl Alex gets a runner-up if she's watching this. If not, she's taken off the list. Girl Alex gets a runner-up though, because I feel like she's taught me how to be kind. I don't know that I was always the kindest person, or as kind as I could be and should be. And her heart is just so big, and it has had a tremendous influence on me. And especially in the last 5 years that we've been together, it's I'm a different person, and for the better. Love you, babe. Anyway, write 12 things you'd like to do over the next year. Listing one for each month. All right. Wow. All right. So this one might be tough to get in. I'll try not to go off the rails with this one. Let's start with this month, right? Or this next month, April. Well, first off, one for April, I want to get my mom and my brother and my niece, Scarlett, really great presents because they all have birthdays. They're like within 3 days of each other. And yeah, so get them really awesome presents. April. Okay, May. In May, I want to get myself ready and prepared for the road because we are leaving late May or maybe probably late May, beginning June. We're going up the coast. So in June, I want to, um, I want to wrap my head around this new adventure that we're having. So Alex and I, and we're taking the dog, and we're going to drive up, and we're going to spend a month on the coast of Oregon. It's going to be beautiful. Hopefully, I have some really awesome live journals for us on that. But yeah, so I want to get my bearings, I think, there. So that'll be the month of June. July, we have like, I guess a little bit of like time before our next landing, which, so we're going to spend June in Oregon, and then I think we're going to travel around a little bit. So I guess just have an awesome road trip. That's it. Not get fat. I feel like I shouldn't say stuff like that, right? If you're fat, I'm sorry. Look, I gained 20 pounds in this pandemic. That's what I mean. I'm trying to not do that, right? I'm going to try to stay healthy. That's the way to do it. Frame it in the positive. I'm going to try to stay healthy in July. And let's see. In August, I'm going to determine if Sedona is a place that I want to live. So we're staying for mid-June to late August, or to mid-August in Sedona, because we took a trip there. There's a live session, a couple streams back that I did from Sedona, and I've got this vision that I want to like run journaling retreats out of there and have this new, outdoorsy lifestyle. But there's some considerations, right? It's not a place that a lot of people live, so I don't know. We'll see. But I want to figure that out. What were we on? Oh, that was August. Yeah. Okay. September. Okay, so September, I want to rule out or confirm any other considerations, because part of this whole trip is that we're trying to find out where we want to live and maybe have a family, right? October. Well, so I love the fall. It'll be the fall, and by then, well, I'm hoping the journal party has ramped up substantially by then. And so, let's see. By October, I think I want to be planning these retreats that I was talking about. November. Well, November, I want to see some family and friends. And December, gosh. I guess, well, I don't know. We visited my mom's side of the family in last year. And so, we kind of, when you're dating as an adult, you kind of have to like alternate with the family. So I'm not sure that I'm going to be home to visit family then, but maybe we'll do that in November. In December, I just want to close the year in an easy and relaxed way. I think we're still going to be going hard with all this journal party stuff, but like, I really want to feel like we did a good job this year. All right, next question. Talk about the first time you did something you never had before, particularly when you felt like everyone knew how to do but you, like cooking or changing a tire. How did you feel when you accomplished this task? I'm streaming these again. Okay, so this one's a little tougher because I know how to do everything. No, that's not a nice thing to say or a good thing to say. Requires a little bit of thinking from me here. Oh, okay. I know. So a while back, my girlfriend and I, we went to this like painting night sort of thing, and there was, you know, beverages and snacks, and it was really fun date night sort of thing that we did. But I'm looking around, and like everyone was putting together these really amazing paintings and pieces of art, and I never really considered myself a painter. I used to like to draw and doodle when I was like a really little kid, or like I'd trace superheroes and stuff like that, but um, never really painting. And I think I looked around, and it was like, man, like, is everyone like everyone knows how to paint, paint here? It's kind of crazy. And one of the things that I've sort of been affirming to myself lately is that I'm a quick learner. I can pick up anything really quickly. And I think that's true, or at least I've started to adopt that. And that I'm pretty good at everything, like I'm not a master at everything, sort of a jack of all trades, which has its own, pitfalls or whatever. But I just, instead of like getting discouraged by this, I just kind of like went at it with an open mind and an open heart. And like, here, I'll actually show it off. I completed this this painting, and I don't know, maybe you're a painter and you're like, dude, that sucks. But I'm proud of it. I think I did a good job, right? Like, there was like a vase of these fake looking flowers, but I made them look kind of cool and like ethereal, and the whole theme was like Van Gogh, and the sunflowers, but I sort of like made it this sunflower starry night sort of thing, and I was so proud. I'm like, maybe I'm a painter. And then, the reality of it dawned on me, like, I don't think I'm an everyday painter, but, it felt really good to like affirm my own creativity, and that like, hey, like I can sit down at whatever medium, music, journaling, art, or I guess those are arts, but, painting, whatever, and make something. I'm a creative, and that feels really, really good to say. All right, so there's a ton of prompts in here. There's no way I'm going to get through all of these, and we're already at like 42 minutes on the stream. So we're going to do the last prompt of the day, the prompt number 10, and we're going to call it a day. Nice little happy hour. All right, without further ado, prompt number 10. Who hurt your feelings in the past? Write about why they might have acted in the way that they did. Does active empathy change how you feel about the situation? Oof. This is why we keep our journals private sometimes. I don't know if I want to share this one, but whatever. In the spirit of being vulnerable, I'm going to take a sip of this margarita and tell you a little story. Okay. So, before I met Alex, I was in a very tough relationship, one that I probably shouldn't have been in, and this was tough because when the relationship started, I was sort of like getting into my late 20s, and that played into it psychologically a little bit, in the sense that like, you don't want to feel like you're getting older, that you're losing your youth or anything like that. And so I think I was chasing some good times. And on top of that, I found out I was going to lose my dad. And that was, a very rapidly developing thing, and it was tough to deal with. And, coupled with me, like, feeling like my life was leaving me, and then seeing, one of the most important people, most influential people in my life leaving me, and being in this relationship where, like, I just, it's tough because I don't want to, on one hand, I believe like everything happens as it should. on the other hand, it's like you sometimes you know better and you're doing things unconsciously and whatever. And like it's not until hindsight that you can see that this was unhealthy. And this person was pretty unhealthy for me to be with. And long story short, at a very vulnerable time in my life, this person cheated on me. And I found out, and I was lied to about that, and I was made to feel like it was my fault, like I wasn't enough. And that's the kind of thing that it really bruises you. And then, I lost my father in like the midst of all of that. And it's tough because like it felt like so much loss all at once. And also like this person who's supposed to care about you, right? Like that's not how you care about somebody, right? So just left me really confused and like sort of like bruised and I think wounded. And it took me a long time to get out of. And look, I'm usually pretty open about this, and you'll see this in a lot of my material with Journal Party and everything. Is even though I journal every day, and I think that's super therapeutic, therapy. Like if I didn't have somebody to help me examine these things in like a healthy and constructive way, I'll be honest, like not all my journal entries like are the nicest about this, right? It's not, and sometimes I think it takes professional help to kind of work through that sort of stuff. So like that's why I've sort of shied away from doing like grief and trauma stuff with Journal Party. I want to make sure that we're not leading anybody astray. But that really hurt my feelings, made me feel like I was not enough. And, I think they were acting the way that they did, probably because, they couldn't handle the weight of what I was going through. And also they were much younger than I was. And that was a whole other issue with it. But I actually have a lot of forgiveness and forbearance for this person because I know that I wasn't showing up as my best self in this relationship. And so, yeah, active empathy does change how I feel about this situation, in that like I don't really blame them or have a whole lot of I've forgiven this person for this, and I hope that they can forgive me for the wrongs that I was doing in this relationship. Not that I'm going to adopt the posture that I like deserve to be cheated on or anything like that. But yeah, man, this is a tough one. But yeah, it does change it. And you know what? Like it's still a wound, if I'm honest, right? Like there's still parts of me that are like, that go back to that point in time, that reference point, and say, yeah, but like that happened, so you're not enough, or you're not good enough, or whatever. And thank goodness I had my journal to help me work through that. Thank goodness I had my therapist to help me work through that. And thank goodness I met the love of my life, who's also been through similar things. And, I wonder if I hadn't been through those things, if I would have been able to come together with her in such like a poignant way where we can help each other heal from stuff like that. And also like, I know there's a lot of like, whatever, you're young, do whatever you want to do. Like, I mean, not anymore for me necessarily, but any inclination that I would have had to wrong somebody in that way, I never want to hurt someone like that. And so that's, if I had to get hurt to like make sure that like I never even come close to hurting someone like that, then maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Try to find the positive in all of it. The reality is sometimes life hits you upside the head, and you have to find whatever channel or vehicle you can to get through it. And for me, that was journaling and therapy and love, like actually just finding somebody who was able to, like change some of these neural pathways. Like I think that there was a story that I was telling myself for a long time, and without having these incredibly supportive people in my life, and also just these incredible practices that aside from journaling, like doing meditation, working out, like all of this stuff, I think it helps you move energy through you. And I think like what was, not to get too metaphysical here, but like look up the concept of samskaras. I think that I was holding this scar tissue sort of inside of me, and it was, I think, affecting a lot of my outputs in the sense that I would get some input from the world, and it would have to go through that, and then like I would try to rearrange and manipulate the world to be okay and still hold on to this like thing, this awful thing that was so painful. And ultimately you just got to let that stuff go so that you can become like a clear channel, a clear like vessel for, again, my apologies if you're not religious or if you're not, into some of the more metaphysical aspects of this. But, I think that there's something deeper and more powerful than us that moves through us. And, especially as somebody who's trying to be creative, all of like your stuff, like those things that you hold on inside of you, I think that they if the world has to go through you, but it has to go through all that stuff, it gets distorted on the way out, and it's not necessarily a good thing. Like you want that pure, just universe source goodness coming through you. And I think that, through the grace of some of these practices and some of my loved ones, I've been able to let go a lot of those blockages and that scar tissue. And now, I'm really happy with all this stuff that's coming out, and like I'm, glad to say that I'm on the other side of it. I can still see the scars, or they still manifest in certain ways. But that's the other cool thing about any of this stuff, any of the journaling practice or meditation or any of these practices, is that you start to develop a greater awareness. So when that stuff happens, I can go, oh, that's that part of me that's like hurt, wounded. I'm going to give him a little bit of love right now, but then like we're going to do our work and we're going to show up how we want to show up. And that's the beautiful thing, is that when you meet any moment in time with pure consciousness, pure awareness, you're able to decide, you're able to choose how you want to show up in the world, as opposed to like this autopilot or this unconscious thing that's going to end up being gross or weird or whatever it is. Let's not judge it too much, but I'm proud of that progress. And so I know that was a long way to go, and that was a really heavy one, at least for me. So if you stuck through that, thanks for listening to my story on that. But look, we're all humans. We're all going through this stuff. I'm willing to bet you all have wounds. And, hopefully these prompts can help you to work through some of that in your own life. And, if I can be of support in any of that process, look, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not gonna do therapy for you. Sorry, but I have some great people I can recommend. I can, great resources for you. And I think together, if we all come together and do it with intention, do it with love, we can show up in this world the way that we want to and make the world a better place. And my purpose and mission and all that right now is to get 1 million of you to journal with Journal Party. So with that, I'm going to throw up this little QR code again. Please go ahead and scan that and download this app that I've been putting together. Jump in, join the Journal Party family. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, please join the group. And we would love to have you. Tune into the Journal Party podcast every Monday. This week's episode was about productivity. We've got new programs in there. Thing that everyone ought to do. And as a lifelong journaler, I can help you pave the way. So if there's anything that I can do to support you in that, please drop me a line. hello@journalparty.com. My name is Alex Gellner. Thank you for listening to me verbally journal. I've never done this before. It's kind of an interesting format. Hopefully we can get some more people on these live sessions and get a little bit more community interactivity. But if you happen to come across this live or later, let me know what you think. Feel free to chime in on your answers to any of these. And thank you so much for journaling with us. And party on.